Welcome into NFL Daily, inside of a week before the start of NFL free agency, the legal tampering period, whatever, when stuff actually starts to get done. We'll be live for that. We're live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and on Rumble. Myself and producer Sam Brown behind the scenes once again. We're going to begin with today's pin poll because it's fun and it's controversial, and I kind of think it's the case here. Is the NFL ownership colluding against Lamar Jackson to not give him that fully guaranteed deal because they really don't want to set that precedence and continue it after the Browns messed everything up by paying Deshaun Watson his fully guaranteed contract, despite coming off of all the accusations, which is kind of hilarious to look back on now there. It's the pin poll. Y for yes, N for no. Right now it's 54% say yes, 7%, but it is still early at this point. Y for yes, N for no. Sam, do you think the NFL is colluding against Lamar Jackson?
You know, I'm always down for a good conspiracy theory, so let's go ahead and just jump on this train right now. I know down the line, I don't know that we'll get much proof that'll come out of it, and you'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the show.
What you know versus what you can prove.
Exactly. But I think that there's more that's going on than meets the eye here, that's for sure.
Mikey Mendez, Lions Talk by Chat Sports. What up, Micro Mike? Or I guess there's Mike now. Calvin say yes. Brokov, RC Plane Builder 2. Did your initial account get banned? Says no. Juan Hernandez says yes. He's spamming his yes. James Poole says no. Joe Gleason says no. Mikey wants Lamar Jackson for in Indy there. 2.0 says yes. We'll break down my thoughts on this. It is super sus, though, that a top 10, wherever you want to rank him, and inside that top 10 is where he is, NFL quarterback with an MVP on his resume is basically hitting the open market with 2 first-round picks. All these teams don't have a good quarterback, and they're all like, we're fine. We have no interest whatsoever.
That doesn't make sense.
And immediately, by the way, not even like, let's talk and see what the deal looks like. No, immediately no interest.
You're telling me the Washington Commanders would better have Sam Howell and suck for another year.
I saw a claim that the teams didn't want to alienate their quarterback room. Like, if you're worried about alienating Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder and or Jarrett Stidham, I don't know what you're doing with your team anymore. Like, figure it out. That's absurd. So we'll spend some more time on this, but I do want a prediction too. Is the NFL, or not, got to head behind myself there. Where does Lamar Jackson end up playing in 2023? Maybe it's still with the Ravens. Maybe the deal gets done. Maybe there's no offer. He plays on the tag, whatever. Where does Lamar Jackson play in 2023? Get those predictions in here.
What's your prediction?
I mean, I had thought he was a Falcon. And then within 30 minutes, like the buzz at the Combine had been, if the Ravens give him the non-exclusive tag, a team like the Falcons or Dark Horse Giants or someone are going to make they're going to go get Lamar because the Ravens are tired of the contract negotiations. It hasn't gone well. They want somebody else to do the legwork. They'll match if they need to match, or they'll let him walk and take the 2 first. They're just over it. Falcons were like the team mentioned, and then it came out like that night. Nope, not going to be Atlanta.
So
here's for Desmond Ridder. What do we think? Come on here.
Here's one team I would just throw out just in the mix. And Tom, you know better than I do. Do the picks can they be the same year?
They has to be 2023 to 2024.
2023 and 2024.
Yes.
I think that the Texans are a team that if everyone suspects that they'll trade up to get their quarterback, their guy. If they think Lamar Jackson's going to, a better player now than any of those guys will be, do you just send them 2, or do you send them 12? It would
be their own first. So the way it works is once you have that tender applied, you could work out a different deal if you needed to, like on the side. But the maximum you could get is the 2 firsts here. So the team that intrigues me of that line there, Sam, is the Lions, because they get to keep 5. They wouldn't be with their top first-round pick. It's their own first-round pick. Some more shout-outs here. Raiders, Falcons, more Raiders. 49ers, they'd have to work out a specific deal between the Ravens and Lamar and the Niners all agreeing to it, the way that it's all set up, which that's Lamar with their Niners would be the NFC's worst nightmare because they're by far the best team and they have the best quarterback, I think, in the division, or at least close enough to it. That'd be terrifying there. I see Colts, Vikings, Ravens, Lions, correct, Sam, no read, Texans, Niners, Commanders. One thought on the Commanders, who are allegedly out, but if you're Dan Snyder and you're doing one more FU middle finger to the NFL, wouldn't it be giving a Lamar Jackson a fully guaranteed deal?
1,000% yes.
Wouldn't that be the last?
And then you sell the team officially the following day.
Yes. Now, it might reduce what he gets back, but I think Dan's petty enough to make it happen. Just throw that out there as a hypothetical if the collusion stuff is real. We'll spend time on Aaron Rodgers today as well, because here we go again, still waiting. Where will he play in 2023? It seems like there's two options, retirement not included, but that popped up again today. P for the Packers, J for the Jets. Where does he go? Sam? Where does Aaron Rodgers end up here as I sip my caffeinated water?
Feels like Jets are bust at this point for Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't seem like Green Bay is moving on with him in the fold. And it seems
they've at
like
least
the Jets,
done the we believe in love enough to make it happen.
Exactly. I think they're the only
team
that's really dived into this option all too much. I mean, the Raiders are the one outlier because they could still potentially make this happen.
I feel bad for Mitchell Renz and Raiders fans, but this was like, they're going to get Tom Brady. They're going to get Aaron Rodgers.
They're going to get Jimmy Garoppolo.
This is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo and Will Levis when it's all said and done. And that's just like, terrifying.
Great.
So, get him in. P for the Packers, J for the Jets. Let me know in the comment section. We'll also talk not just draft and trades, but free agency today. The start of free agency is it's officially a week away, almost to the exact time here, by the way. But the tampering period begins Monday. We'll be live for that, by the way, so make sure you're subscribed. What do you like more in free agency? Sam, I did the thing. I did DTF as the abbreviation.
Let's go.
You guys know. D, T, or F? I go draft myself because, that's just me, because I'm a nerd. Trades don't happen enough, and free agency is limited just enough by the franchise tag. Just enough.
I can confirm Tom is a nerd.
Yep.
He is correct. The draft,
you were giving me so much shit for watching film on our way to the Combine.
It was on
What else am I going to do?
You sleep. You can. I watched Full Swing.
I'll tell you what. I did sleep on the way back. I felt because there was no Wi-Fi. I was pissed. I was going to do stuff.
So I don't think you ever realized this, Tom. At one point, you readjusted yourself pretty significantly. You felt something maybe on the back of your head after you were woken up. I was reaching over and as I saw you move a little bit and kind of reset. I was like, oh, he's awake now, and I went and scratched the back of your hair and stuff. And I got you. You didn't even realize it was me, to be honest.
Once I'm out, I'm out pretty hard there. So. Juan spamming DTF. I appreciate that. I think it's mostly D's. Enrico Preston, Shelley, Billy, Gabriel Brokov. F's from Mari Peoples, PG2869. Nice. Kristen Bravo says T for trade. GM Evan Hinder says F for free agency. Shelley says D. Danny Smalls says D. SM says F. Sam Jordan says D. James Haven says F. We'll make this maybe a community poll this week and we'll still do it in order. Draft, trades, free agency. I think it'll be a decent split. I think draft ends up coming out on top. Maybe the influence of free agency will change things, but we'll see on that front. This is our super chat menu for you guys today if you want to have some fun. Any super, we will give you guys a shout out, show you some love. $5, we'll crack a beer, I'll drink for you. $20 for shots. And producer Sam desperately wants this one to happen. $50, and he'll slap me with a tortilla.
I think anytime you get an opportunity to slap anyone in the face with a tortilla, whether you like them or not, I like you. But I'm going to take that opportunity every time it comes for good reason.
Sam hits as hard as he possibly can. And I respect him for it. Some people are scared to do it.
Well, I think people are scared
to do it.
People are scared to do it because they're worried they're going to hit you. Yeah. And, not to say I'm not worried I'm going to hit you, but I've got the distance down to where I can just unleash. Yeah. It's like hitting a driver. You just got to get the right distance on the club head, and then you can just nuke.
I don't know. I've seen you play golf.
I've just got to get the right distance on the club head. Is all.
The
That's
last
all it
time
is.
you had the right distance on the club head, you shattered it over a tree.
I mean, that was good contact. That was good contact. That's the whole thing.
We got a super chat coming in from Poppy Chulo Sits. We'll break down that super chat, then we'll get today's show started here. He wants to know, why isn't left tackle Paris Johnson being mocked higher? I think positional need comes into play here. If the Bears trade down to like 7 or 8, they've got a 30 visit with him, that could certainly make sense. But you go in order here. Texans are going to go quarterback. Cardinals they've got DJ Humphries. They got defensive needs. Seattle just took a left tackle. The Lions have Penei Sewell. The Raiders have Colton Miller. The Falcons have massive needs on defense. Caleb McGarry. The Panthers have Taylor Mott. They just drafted Ike Mekwonu. The Eagles have, I'm drawing on his name. They have a great offensive line. Jordan Mailata. Thank you, Sam. And then you're at Tennessee. So if Tennessee wants Paris Johnson, great. Maybe Houston at 2 could make some sense there if they don't want to go quarterback. Jets, Patriots. So Johnson is a first-round prospect for me. I like him a lot as a left tackle. Skoronski, if you have him as a guard, would be higher at tackle, but that's, arm length matters there. It's just that the teams in front of Tennessee in particular don't really have that obvious need at left tackle. So they'll end up going elsewhere, I suspect. Great question, Poppy Chulo. Thank you, my friend. If you are ready for today's live show to get started, like the video for me right now. We don't even have 50 likes. That's really disappointing.
We get to Tom's favorite number?
69? Math says yes, but, I mean, you guys haven't liked it yet, and that makes me very, very sad on that standpoint.
That makes Tom very un-69.
Un-69 indeed. So like the video for us right now to get today's show started. And here's what's coming up on the show. The latest NFL news and rumors, a lot of trade stuff mixed in there. The top 25 NFL free agents, that will be part of today's show. A mailbag, you can get your questions in via hashtag NFL, so producer Sam can actually find your questions, then bring them up on screen. Or you can super chat like Poppy Chulo Sits just did. Those are your 2 routes on there. Then we'll run through the Todd McShay NFL Draft Big Board, his updated version following the NFL Combine. Oh, Sam, we're at 61 likes. I think we can get there.
8 more people.
I think we can get there.
Let's get to 69.
I would love to. That's
do it for Tom.
There's 169 watching, so it means 100 people haven't liked it yet. Just like the video right now. It's free, easy to do, and it tells YouTube that you like what we're doing. You clearly do since you're watching the entirety of the show here. You'll get notified more when it's happening, and it shows it to other people, a clear indication that, hey, you like what we're doing, and we continue to grow there. Didn't get the screenshot, jumped right to 70, but we did got there. There is a point of like a bunch of just screenshots in a row on my laptop because I don't have to delete them. There's 69s, different versions of 69 screenshotted.
Eventually, you should just go back through and see if you can get all the screenshots just in number order. Not even like you like on the same show. Just get them all like 67, 68, 70, 71, 72, 73.
Might be too tough there. Either way.
Or delete the pictures.
I mean,
no one needs them.
I delete them eventually. So that's all coming up live here. This little rundown of the show here on NFL Daily. Welcome into NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey here with a look at the latest NFL rumors with a pretty significant trade hint on that side of overall. We're going to begin with the number 1 NFL story. That is Lamar Jackson, the latest on Lamar. As I'm sure everyone knows, yesterday, the Ravens put the non-exclusive franchise tag on Lamar Jackson, meaning teams can make an offer to Lamar Jackson. He would then sign that offer. The Ravens have the option to match or get 2 first-round picks back. Now, it'd be the team's own first-round picks in 2023, 2024. It's worth mentioning Lamar wants a fully guaranteed contract. And look, there are reasons why maybe something weird's going on here. But within like an hour of the news of Lamar being the non-exclusive franchise tag, 5 teams with 1 asterisk on here, info was leaked or reported that they're not going to go after Lamar Jackson. The Falcons had been heavily linked to Lamar. Apparently they're out. Conflicting reports on the Raiders, but does sound like draft's their most likely inclination there. The Carolina Panthers, Washington Commanders, and the Miami Dolphins as well, despite uncertainty involving Tua. The Dolphins one makes sense. The other 4, it's like, are we serious here? Something's not right with this Lamar Jackson situation. Wherever you want to rank him, whether it's number 5, number 8, number 10, Lamar Jackson is a top 10 NFL quarterback with an MVP season on his resume. And apparently, despite no contact, because you can't have contact before NFL free agency, multiple NFL teams with nothing proven at quarterback were like, we're good, we don't need him. That does not make sense. Now, there are some reasons why you might have some concerns there. The recent injury history for Lamar Jackson, the lack of an agent. I think the Ravens' mindset has been, this contract has been brutal to negotiate. We're over it. Let's put the non-switch tag on him. Either match it or get 2 first-round picks back. Let someone else do all of the legwork. The 2 first-round picks are significant to give up. But I firmly believe the underlying root issue here is that NFL teams across the board do not want a fully guaranteed deal to be given out again at the level it was for Deshaun Watson. NFL teams and owners and GMs were vocally upset about the deal the Browns gave Deshaun Watson. And Lamar Jackson, by the way, has done significantly more in his NFL career than Deshaun has done. Just resume-wise, he's more deserving of that fully guaranteed contract. Certainly more deserving than the guy coming off a year who hasn't played football in a year and had, 26 sexual misconduct allegations against him? Football-wise, there's no reason why Deshaun would get it and Lamar wouldn't. I think there is at least the possibility here of collusion among the NFL franchises to not give out the guaranteed deal. Unfortunately for Lamar, he's the one getting the short end of the stick. So what do you think? I'm going to spend some more time here on Lamar too. But is the NFL colluding against Lamar Jackson right now? It's the pinned comment on today's show. Type in Y for yes, N for no at the pinned comment, especially if an ad break comes here on YouTube. What you know, what you think, in my case, I suppose, and what you can prove are 3 very different things, but all of this just stinks of collusion. You're telling, I've seen other arguments of, the quarterback market's gotten high. Daniel Jones got $40 million a year. NFL teams, they don't want to hurt their own quarterbacks. We're talking about Jarrett Stidham, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, and Matt Corral as the quarterbacks we're worrying about upsetting and don't want to have a bad locker room thing? What? Those quarterbacks combined might not be as good as Lamar Jackson. That is, maybe one ends up being a top 10 guy if they're lucky. Those reasons don't pass the smell test. The NFLPA is going to raise a stink here because if Deshaun got that fully guaranteed deal, then Lamar Jackson is definitely still worthy. Now, maybe there is a dark horse team that emerges and makes a big deal, big push for Lamar Jackson. Some teams to monitor if the Raiders are indeed out here. The New York Jets. I think they're going to go Rodgers. More on him in a minute, but keep that one in mind. The Colts and Texans have high draft picks, but wouldn't that be fun? Tampa, if they want to go all in. Tennessee and Derrick Henry would be fantastic. The really good dark horse team beyond the Niners, it's very tough to make it happen, but man, that'd be electric. Patriots still need a quarterback. You could figure out what you do with Mac Jones if you trade him with the Raiders or something. The Lions would be awesome. They have the money. They would get to keep their number 5 overall pick because it's their own first-round pick they would trade. Trading, pick whatever it is, 18, 19, and a future first. That's really appealing if you are the Detroit Lions. So the 18 pick, by the way, that'd be a nice little dark horse fun fit. So where does Lamar Jackson play in 2023? You guys can predict for me in the comment section. Maybe it is when it's all said and done. Still the Ravens, but go vote for me in the comment section, or go predict, I should say. Today's NFL Daily, sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits, and we know how hard it can be to kick those bad habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I didn't expect that much from Fume when I got it, but the minty sensation hits pretty great, and I got some great flavors too. White cranberry, maple pepper, crisp mint as well. Fume, by the way, is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one. And Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. Head to tryfume.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com/chatsports and use code ChatSports to save an additional 10% off your order today. Links in the comments section and in the description of today's show. The other quarterback domino is one Aaron Rodgers. The Jets and Rodgers have met this week per a couple different reports there. And now it's just like it was last year, not last year, but the year before that. We're waiting on what Rodgers wants to do. The retirement buzz from Adam Schefter is kind of once again back. Seems like there's really three options. Sorry, Raiders, Jets, Packers, retirement there. From what it's worth from our combine conversations, I really think that when Rodgers says no one knows what he's going to do, I think he's being honest. I don't think people actually do know what's going to happen. The money is a factor here, I think, for both the Jets, Packers, and Rodgers' standpoint. His option bonus is very unique. It's $58.3 million, but a lot of it comes in the future, so it's a lot of cash with spread out money. Short term, the cap hit's pretty good. Next couple years, maybe not so much. It's a complicated deal that could very well end up getting reworked in the event the Packers choose to move on and make Jordan Love the guy. Also raising a red flag is that you're not getting Rodgers at his high. In fact, you're getting him at some of his lowest value, frankly. 17 games played last year, but his touchdown numbers, his accuracy, his completion percentage, interceptions, his yards per attempt, pretty much every metric out there on Rodgers, wins if you want to go that route too, all went the wrong direction, which is a pretty big red flag at his age. So where do you think in the end Rodgers ends? Is it back in Green Bay and Jordan Love remains the great unknown in Wisconsin? Or does he get dealt to the Jets? And this time, the Nathaniel Hackett hiring leads to Rodgers going to that team. That's what happened with Denver. You will never convince me otherwise. Denver hired Hackett to get Rodgers. Didn't happen. Now the Jets did the exact same thing. Well, maybe it'll be different this time. Where does he end up? P for the Packers, J for the Jets. Let's move to Derrick Henry. We got the old conflicting trade rumors here. Mike Silver reported the Titans are shopping running back Derrick Henry, but Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports says that's not true. Who knows what the real answer is? I suppose it's the believe whatever you want to believe here. The Titans are in a weird spot. They've made a new GM hire because John Robinson missed too many big draft picks, and we'll give up some bad deals to people like Bud Dupree when it's all said and done. So are they rebuilding or are they reloading? If they're rebuilding, you should try to trade away Derrick Henry, because if you're not going to try to win for the next 2 years maybe, what's the purpose of having Derrick Henry? That doesn't help you enough in the short term, despite still being one of the better backs in the NFL. And I'll make the Titans' offensive line was not particularly good last year either. If it is more of a retool, they can keep Derrick Henry. Here's the contract details. His cap hit for Tennessee right now, $16.4 million. That's a lot of money. The deal ends after this upcoming year, by the way. Pre-6-1 contract, or if a release or a trade, Tennessee saves $6.26. After June 1st, they save $11 million. That's via release or trade, by the way. He is cuttable. The new team would owe Henry $10.5 million plus incentives of $500,000 that he may or may not end up getting. It's based on rushing yardage there, so you can say it's 11 if you want to include it at that point, but 10.5 works as well. We'll see about Tennessee. If they wanted to, they could blow it all up, but I don't know if Mike Vrabel wants to make that happen. So what is the percent chance the Titans end up trading Derrick Henry? Sound off for me in the comment section right now. We'll end on DeAndre Hopkins trade rumors. Hopkins went on the Pat McAfee Show today. Didn't really offer up that much new information. Said, he's planning on being a Cardinal, see what happens, etc., etc. There have been plenty of reports, to the surprise of nobody, that the Cardinals could trade him, and that move might not come until after free agency. We'll see if someone like Allen Lazard gets a crazy big contract, in which case maybe the Cardinals can get more for Hopkins in a trade. A new contract might be needed. Ian Rappaport said that his understanding is if a trade happened, Hopkins would be flexible on the last 2 years of his contract rather than shoot for a top-of-the-market deal. That's not actually very specific. Does he mean Hopkins would play on that final 2 years? Does that mean he would look for a top 10 deal as opposed to a top 3 or top 5 deal? That's a little bit murky. I think you'd have to figure it out what exactly Hopkins wants contract-wise. That would impact who could potentially trade for him and what they would give up. We'll break down a report on what the trade package is, but who ends up trading for DeAndre Hopkins? You can sound off for me in the comments section. And while you're down there, make sure you are subscribed. News, rumors, draft coverage, free agency, everything else in between, of course, trades like we're doing right now. Hit that subscribe button for free and make sure those notifications are turned on. We will be live for NFL free agency starting early on Monday. Report out of Arizona, by the way, in terms of the potential trade value for DeAndre Hopkins. A second-round pick, I assume this year. It wasn't specified, but would make sense otherwise. A conditional draft pick or a player. Now, conditional range and the player involved, a little bit more flexible there. You know, is David Johnson under contract? Who knows? Kind of funny if that ends up being very similar value there. The new team, of course, will get DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins is aging. The contract might be a potential red flag for teams at this stage, despite missing a good chunk of time the past 2 years, and the numbers being down because, well, Kyler Murray got hurt, and Arizona was, to be blunt, a dumpster fire this year. Hopkins should still carry plenty of trade value if/when he ends up getting moved. It's in our Super Chat menu one more time for you guys here. Again, shout out to Poppy Chulo Sitch in the Super Chat. Any super, it's a shout out. $5, beer cheers. 20, I'll do a shot. 50, Sam will slap me. Or if you specify, I can slap Sam. It's up to you guys.
I don't know that anyone's going to get as much fun. They don't see my face every day.
I know we got Raiders fans watching. They always say F Sam.
They don't see, yeah, but they just know because I'm a Broncos fan. These folks don't see my face all the time. They see your face all the time. And
whoever you want.
They have a much funner time talking to you than they talk to me. So I think if anybody should be slapping anybody, it's me slapping you. But, hey, you never know.
Let me know in the comments if you throw in the $50. Who gets slapped? Now, it is also National Organ Day. I don't know why the state of Oregon gets its own day.
That's the most random one I've heard.
Does every state get its own day? And it should be on the day. Well,
is it like their Day of Independence or something?
I was about to Google what day was Oregon founded.
Day of Emancipation.
I don't think emancipation is the right thing there.
That's not the right word. Sorry.
Okay, so Oregon was admitted as a state on February 14th.
Admission. That's what I want.
So why would it not be the day it was joined on the Union? If we're going to give them a day, that doesn't make any sense. I'm looking to see if there's like a different day, like when they did the state, and like why wouldn't it be this day? What day was Oregon formed? That's ridiculous.
I'm being judged so hard back here.
Everything says February 14th. That's when the day it was admitted to the Union. So why isn't it that day? Why wouldn't it be like that?
I don't want to take attention away from all the people who are, quote unquote, in love.
Oregon also, fun fact, didn't find out about that till March 15th because, there were no phones. So, again, pick a day. Why is it today? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. All right. State you guys are watching from, I see California. Noah, can you slap Mitchell? Probably. I'm sure he'd be down with it. Vegas, New Jersey. I see an F Sam. Vegas. That's not really. That's fine. Hawaii. Vegas isn't really a state, but it's kind of close enough here. Kentucky, Missouri, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. Just the YouTube username Tom is trolling Sam. Not me, by the way, for the record. California, D.C., Pennsylvania, Chicago, Florida, Louisiana, Maryland, Texas, Florida, Philly, Maryland in there as well. Keep the comments coming where you guys are watching from. And also make sure you're subscribed to our NFL draft-focused YouTube. We're about to break down some top free agents, but we have draft coverage available over there. YouTube.com/chatNFL. Links in the comment section, in the description today as well. Trying to grow that channel out as fast as humanly possible. Good start so far. Still a long ways to go. So if you love the NFL draft and you want even more coverage from us here at Chat Sports, go subscribe over there, youtube.com/chatNFL. NFL free agency is less than a week away. Boy, it came quickly, didn't it? Maybe not quickly enough. We're going to be live all throughout free agency. Tons of videos for you guys. Don't miss a thing this year in NFL free agency. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that button right now. We're breaking down the top 25 NFL free agents with the franchise tag window now closed. There will be some players cut depending on when you watch this. If you watch on like a Monday, probably be some notable guys who got cut in between that time frame there. With the top 25 as they sit currently, 25-1, Juju Smith-Schuster first up. The touchdowns weren't great for the Chiefs, but as a possession slot receiver, there is still value. Also worth mentioning, the wide receiver market is not very good this year, and that could lead to some big deals. Fun dark horse for, wow, he got how much money? Guy of the year? Allen Lazard of the Packers, which I wouldn't get it. Cameron Sutton of the Pittsburgh Steelers next up here. Cornerback class is actually decent. Especially if you want a number 2. We'll see if Pittsburgh can retain Sutton, but in terms of cornerback free agencies, probably in that top 5 range. A guy I've always liked, by the way, in the NFL. We'll stick with our corners and move to Jonathan Jones of the New England Patriots. Patriots corners haven't always gotten paid the way we thought they were going to. I wonder if something similar happens to Jones. Currently a free agent, it can sign whenever. Odell Beckham Jr. He's been on our top free agent list for over a year. I can't ever recall that happening. Not even Cam Newton had that happen to him. Not even Jadeveon Clowney. They got signed eventually, and other guys like maybe a Russell Okung got knocked off. Let's time we got the next version of free agency. Beckham's out there. We'll see what he wants versus how much he's going to get with the injury. But do you want your team to sign Odell Beckham Jr.? OBJ for yes or no BJ for no. Player I'm not as high on is Zach Allen. The numbers were actually pretty darn good this year. And if you compare it to the next guy on our list, that is Marcus Davenport at number 20, you can make an easy argument for, hey, Zach Allen should be higher. I mean, he had 5.5 sacks. Davenport had I think 1 this past year. I think Allen did benefit, though, from playing alongside J.J. Watt. Allen benefited. Davenport has more upside there. I think Davenport has to sign a 1-year prove deal, but the upside talent, untapped potential still is there. Offensive line play is always bad in the NFL. Outside of maybe a couple teams, everyone goes, man, I'd love to upgrade on that player. That's why Jawan Taylor is number 19 on our list, the Jags offensive tackle. Does Walker Little get a chance at right tackle? They ended up paying Cam Robinson, the former second-round pick out of Florida. It's been good enough in Jacksonville, which there's a lot of teams that would kill for good enough at this point. Today's pinned comment. Who is the best free agent in the NFL free agency class for 2023? Head down to the pinned comments, which the ad break comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Number 1 free agent this year. Number 18, Caleb McGarry, who was not great until this year. Great timing for him. I suspect a pretty significant contract will be coming his way. O-line play is rough. Teams will overpay that spot because they just don't have other viable options. Number 17, our top receiver, Jacoby Myers out of New England. By the way, no running backs made this list with all the franchise tag guys, but several ended up being it's a good depth class, but not like top 25 group. Myers, a slot receiver, could get whispers were $20 million. If he gets that, I don't even know what we're doing anymore. Dalton Schultz, the top tight end this year. I get Austin Hooper vibes, but not necessarily a bad thing there. He hasn't been as good when Dak's been banged up, but that's been how good Dak Prescott is, I think. Teams will have interest there. A good tight end class, though, for the draft could bring down his value a little bit. Someone who has not officially been cut yet, but will be on March 15th and make him post June 1st, save more money, is Bobby Wagner. There will be interest there. Seattle, Dallas, of course, were linked. Seattle cut him last time. Now players have been recruiting him already. Dallas was linked last time. Potential option there. Who will end up signing Bobby Wagner? Get your predictions in for me in the comments section of today's video. A younger linebacker, and although I don't think he's as good as Wagner right now, youth matters in free agency, is Tremaine Edmonds, who's still super young, by the way. There's the whole benefit of drafting him coming out. Edmonds is 24 years old still. There are rookies this year who are older than Tremaine Edmonds, and he's a free agent now, so to get his second contract. Coming off a big-time year, a big step forward, he's going to get a bag. Jordan Poyer, the safety, is older, also of Buffalo. He's kind of made comments about wanting to go to a tax-free state, which helps a little bit, even though you still got to pay taxes when you play road games. But hey, maybe it's like Miami would make a lot of sense for Jordan Poyer. Yannick Ngakoue, next up here, the Colts defensive end. He's been a consistent 8-sack guy. I don't love him as a run stopper. I think the ideal spot for him is he's your number 3 situational pass rush guy, but that's very valuable, so teams end up paying more and making him a starter there. He'll have interest this offseason once again. Now, if you want more NFL news, rumors, buzz, everything else in between on NFL free agency, if you haven't already, I'm once again asking you to subscribe. Free videos all off season long, so do not miss out. Make sure those notifications are set to all, and subscribe to us here at Chat Sports. One of my favorite players in the NFL, he's older, I will happily acknowledge that, is Levante David, the Buccaneers linebacker. I still think he's better than Devin White is, although that might not last for too much longer given their age. The age will bring down David's contract, but he's still a damn good football player. Our first and only quarterback on the list, thanks to retirements of Tom Brady and extensions, etc. Derek Carr got signed already, is Jimmy Garoppolo of the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know where he ends up or what his deal ends up being like. Maybe it's the Geno Smith contract. I doubt he's getting Daniel Jones money. The Jets make it if they cannot land Aaron Rodgers. Team like maybe the Patriots, the Raiders down in Miami as expensive insurance for Tua. All makes sense. I think once the Lamar Jackson maybe domino falls and the Aaron Rodgers one fall, Garoppolo will find his next spot. Draymond Jones, I'm a big fan of him. Plenty of buzz, though, that the contract might be a lot of money in the $20 million per year range. I like him coming out of Ohio State. That's probably too much money for me. But you saw what the Bears tried to give Larry Ogunjobi last year before that deal fell through because of medical. Jones is better. He's going to get more money. That's one to keep an eye out there for. Number 8, that's linebacker David Long, 86 tackles in only 12 games. Now, he's missed time each and every game of his NFL career, but the overall production has actually been very impressive. Coming of his best year ever, 5 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 7 tackles for loss as well. Young, talented linebacker. Tennessee will try to keep him, but I got that Jeffrey Simmons deal coming down the pipeline. This is now the Philadelphia Eagles portion of today's show. 3 of the top 7 players play for the Eagles. They did not use the franchise tag. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that kind of nickel safety hybrid role, the best trash talker in the entire NFL, is probably going to command high-end safety money, which is more than what nickel corners make, by the way. Very curious where he ends up going. The Saints traded him away to Philadelphia. Eagles might get a better comp pick back than what they gave up in exchange for Gardner-Johnson in that deal with the Saints. The fun game we will play on Monday. What team is going to agree to a deal with an outside free agent first, and who is it? What is it going to be? It's always someone kind of random. It's never like, Jesse Bates is on. It's not how it normally goes. So which free agent signs with a new team first? Guys, re-signing do not count. Get those predictions in for me in the comments. Mike McGlinchey, number 6. I guess this was the Niners portion to an extent. I know that some Niners fans don't like McGlinchey. I understand that. I do. But he is a starting caliber right tackle in the NFL, bordering on above average. And you guys remember what Nate Soldier got a few years ago when he went to the Giants, like a record-setting deal? Probably not going to be that extreme, but McGlinchey will get a bag from somebody because there are teams just desperate for offensive line talent. Number 5, Jamel Dean, the Bucs corner. I like him. Tampa has already paid Carlton Davis. They got other deals in that back end coming soon. I bet he leaves this offseason. The number 1 corner for me is James Bradbury. Now, age is a factor here. But Bradbury, and he's been a little bit inconsistent. Some good years, some bad years mixed in there. But I thought he was awesome alongside Darius Slay this year. Now, we'll see if he regresses a bit without having another top 10, top 5, whatever corner across from him. But Bradbury's a great football player, and I can't wait to see what Javon Hargrave gets on the open market. Eagles have crushed some free agency moves. I mean, the 3 guys we mentioned for them were not players that they drafted. They signed Bradbury after a cut. They signed Hargrave a few years ago, traded for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Hargrave, I think, is itching to get maybe $20 million a year or more on the open market. A team like Chicago, by the way, would be a great fit for him. Jesse Bates was not tagged. He's gone. He wants more guaranteed when the Bengals have come close to offering him. He will leave in free agency and end up somewhere else. Number 1, Orlando Brown. I was pretty surprised Chiefs did not franchise tag him. I think they want to have a plan longer term, and that's what they're letting Brown, I assume, leave in free agency. Is he the best left tackle in the game? No. Is he still really good and in that top 10 range? Yeah, which means he's going to get a lot of money from a desperate team in the open market. So that is our top 25 free agents list. I'm curious who ends up signing first. Again, we will be live during NFL free agency. Do not miss out. Hit that subscribe button right now. All right, our super chat menu. We have a $10 one, so Sperry, can you grab me a beer real quick here? Any super will give you a shout out. $5 beer cheers, 20 equals shots, 50 is tortilla slaps. All right, Zeno's saying $10, our MVP so far. Here's why I defend Elliott. 2016, 2018, led the league in rushing. 2017, suspended. 2019, Dak threw way more. Well, he was hurt. I think that's maybe your argument 2019, by the way. He got hurt that year. I think I'm remembering that correctly. Or was that 2020? That was 2020. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. 2020, no quarterback, no O-line, no defense. 21, so 1,000 yards. 2022, still bad. Was bad. The reason why career, Elliott's been great, right? But the last 3 years, Elliott hasn't been the guy anymore. We're talking about a 4-yard per carry player. That does not have value at this point. And we're talking about 230-plus carries. So volume doesn't work for me, and that's about efficiency. And if you're averaging 4 yards a carry, that's not worthwhile at his current contract. If he was on a rookie deal, no one would care. He'd be like, oh, all these touchdowns, yay. But on a massive contract at the least valuable, most replaceable position, it's not as intriguing. Cheers to you, though, Zeno. I appreciate the super chat. Do cheers.
Let's have Tom finish this beer by the end of the show.
That'd be nice. Give me some 5 pieces.
Well, I think one thing we realize over the course of a week, a season, an off season, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of just half beers that just wind up not getting finished.
Yeah.
And, some people here that are real ones and that like to party, they'll sit here and they'll finish drinking the beer obviously afterwards. But I don't want to waste any of it either. Yeah. So let's put it to good use and recycle that can and save the earth. There
you go. All right, let's go back to this question. Who is the best free agent? We'll do some mailbag stuff here in a moment too, by the way. I saw I think I saw Bobby Wagner in there. Best NFL free agent this year. We did not include Lamar Jackson, by the way, because he's not really a free agent or any of the RFA guys, so didn't count. Sam Jordan says Jesse Bates. Richard agrees with us and says Orlando Brown. Appreciate that. Let's see. What else are you guys getting in there? Best NFL free agent. We'll come back to this and remind everyone. Oh, Tom Brady, LOL. Gardner-Johnson in there, too. If you have questions for us to answer, now's the time. 2 ways to get on the show. You can either super chat, like Poppy Chulo Sits or Zeno did, or just use hashtag NFL. You have to use the hashtag. Otherwise, producer Sam will not see your question, and it will not be answered because it doesn't get in our queue. So
Now,
use the hashtag.
Another reason to super chat, though, by the way. I love giving my 60-second guarantee. You send one in, I guarantee within 60 seconds it's getting on the show.
And then one time he didn't get to it fast enough.
Well, because you wouldn't stop talking.
Now you
That's
missed
not
one.
On me.
You missed one.
That's not on me.
You missed one.
I told the crowd last week, unless Tom doesn't stop talking.
You missed one because I had to tell you that there was another one. I see Jimmy Ward. I actually almost put him in our top 25, but I don't think he's the best free agent this year. James Bradbury, Orlando Brown, Bradbury again. Robbie Gould. I'm not putting kicker in my top 25. I'm not doing it.
Tom,
I refuse.
People?
No, they are not.
There you go.
Not a person. I think that's a pretty good rundown there, the top guys. So keep that coming for me in the comment section of today's video. You can do that. Yeah, we can leave with the supers. Might as well give them some extra love. So mailbag coming up right now. You guys are watching NFL Daily. I am Tom Downey. It is a mailbag. We answer all of your questions live here on our show. This was filmed on Wednesday evening, so keep that in mind since there will be plenty of NFL news. Make sure you're subscribed. A super chat to begin from Poppy Chulo Sits. Why is left tackle Paris Johnson being mocked higher? Simply put, it comes down to the value and the positional needs. I love Paris Johnson. Left tackle is a premium position, but the teams ahead of like Tennessee, where he's frequently mocked, don't need one. Philly, Carolina, Atlanta, Raiders, Lions, Seahawks, Colts, Cardinals all have bigger needs than a left tackle. If the Bears trade down, maybe different, but teams have other spots there. From Zeno, here's why I defend Zeke Elliott. 2016, 2018 led the league in rushing. 2017 was suspended. 2019, Dak threw way more. 2020, he had no quarterback, no O-line or defense. 2021, he has 1,000 yards. And 2022 was bad. I get the money, though, is bad. He's been a 4-yard per carry player the past 3 years. That's not worth it at his contract. If he was on a rookie deal, different convo. No one should pay $16 million for 4 yards per carry. That's bad business. Another super chat from Wilkie. Do you think Muhammad Ibrahim out of Minnesota is underrated for the draft? I think a little bit. It's a great running back class, and there's a lot of, if these guys get a chance, they're going to be able to make some noise. But for Ibrahim, the injury's a red flag, the age, the workload to an extent. It's a great class. He should absolutely, though, be drafted. I think it's a good underrated sleeper type of prospect. True Allure, what right tackle is available for the Niners signer draft at pick 99? I think they met with Ryan Hayes out of Michigan at the Combine. Pretty sure he did tell us that. It's a good name. Decent enough athlete there. Has played that kind of style of offense, like the zone blocking scheme. So I'd say Ryan Hayes a decent name to watch out for. Maybe it's not at 99, maybe it's on day 3, but that's a good option. Tommy Two Tones, where will Orlando Brown end up? Great question. The high-end left tackle market will be interesting. A lot of teams have someone at that spot at least, or they're a bit light on salary cap space for now. 5 teams to consider. Maybe Orlando Brown doesn't get the deal he wants, and he just says, I'm going to come back to KC. This is fine. I'll mention Chicago. I know that they have Braxton Jones. They have all the salary cap space, though. Ryan Poles comes from KC. He was part of the org when they traded for Orlando Brown. Seems like worth mentioning there. The Patriots, and if you want to go the Brown brothers at left tackle, right tackle, not actually brothers, but still, big-bodied guys. That'd be the biggest tackle duo, I think, in the entire NFL. Tennessee, in desperate need of a left tackle. Indy, unless you believe in Bernard Raymond, also a decent fit there. NFL free agency is days away now, and kind of barely that. So I want you guys to shout out your favorite team and name a player you want them to sign. 2-part ask. It's at the pinned comment of today's video. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, please take advantage of it. Head down there, let me know your favorite team and who you want them to sign, all in the same comment. Pat Norris, how was Rick considered a top 5 quarterback coming out of college, but now he's up to 4 games? People gives Fields upside and suck this year. Give me a break. But Fields didn't suck this year. I think that's step number 1 there. The other part is Ritter was a top 5 quarterback in that class. I think he was number 3 on my board. In this year's class, he'd maybe be number 5. And he was a 3rd-round pick. It's not that like Ritter has zero upside altogether. It's that, if this was a Desmond Ritter, Jimmy Garoppolo conversation, sure, give Ritter a chance. But Ritter versus Lamar Jackson is a very different convo. It's fine to have some belief in Ritter, but what's the outcome chance he's as good as Lamar? 2%, 5%? Honestly, like it should be a low figure. To be out on Lamar already is really weird in Atlanta. From SM, Daniel Jones getting paid before Lamar is wild. I feel like you could have gotten Lamar. Yeah, it's 2 late first-round picks too, plus like an extra $10 million a year compared to what Daniel Jones got. It's just, I'll say this: credit to Daniel Jones' agents; they did a fantastic job. From Loyalty, hear me out. Kind of gets rid of Darnold, Walker. Hopefully the quarterback looks like Stroud, Corral, Tannehill, or Wentz. Is that enough for a playoff run? If Stroud is really good in year 1 and Lamar doesn't come to the NFC South, yeah, I think they can make some noise in there. The Bucs are going to start Kyle Trask and a veteran like, Andy Dalton. Carolina would then have Stroud as their guy. I don't think Wentz or Tannehill matter that much, frankly. It's Derek Carr for the Saints. Kind of played well down the stretch. In a bad NFC South, yes, they could certainly make some noise. From Richard, what teams will the Bears trade their number 1 pick, and will they trade it before Monday? I don't know when it gets done. I'm sure the NFL wouldn't mind, hey, if you're close, just wait a little bit. Like, wait for a month and then make the trade because they want to maximize that news cycle. That's the deep conspiracy there. You can see Houston move up, Indy, Las Vegas. I don't think Atlanta. Carolina, I think, is as far down as the Bears would end up going. Maybe Indy and Chicago is the perfect trade spot in the end. Today's show, sponsored by Fume. We all have bad habits, and we sort of know how hard it can be to kick those bad habits. Our sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I didn't expect much out of Fume, but the mini sensation is great, and they got some great flavors too. Maple pepper, crisp mint, and white cranberry as well. 3 unique flavors as part of the Journey pack. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. The easiest way to stop a bad habit is switch to a positive one. And Fume is designed perfectly to do just that. Head to tryfume.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Save 10% off when you get the Journey pack today. That's tryfum.com/chatsports and use code chatsports to save an additional 10% off your order today. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. All right, from Roberts, Raiders need too much O-line and D-up to sign a Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers. Try to get Richardson and draft and trade an FA for O-line and D-line. Couldn't you also just trade your picks for Lamar Jackson and still do free agency and other draft picks for line and D-line? I think their philosophy is going to be young at quarterback, and I guess that's fine. But I think there are multiple ways to address your different needs. If you want to use your big asset for quarterback, that's fine, whether it's through trade or in the draft. RC Plane Builder 2, best quarterback available for the Atlanta Falcons. The answer is Lamar Jackson. And if you're not going to go Lamar and you're going to ride with a Desmond Ritter for a year, give him a shot to prove himself there, with the way the offense works, you wouldn't mind somebody with some mobility. It's not a great class. I think Dalton ends up in like Tampa, by the way. That wouldn't surprise me. But you could go that route who he can still run a little bit. I think you're looking the veteran quarterback route. I don't think you're going to draft someone early. Otherwise, go trade your pick for Lamar. But I think they're going to give Ritter the shot at QB1. At least that's what it sounds like. From Scotty, who the Giants go after in free agency? Odell Beckham Jr.? I think receiver is an obvious area, but it's not a great receiver class overall. More D-line or more defensive help would be awesome. The Giants can still spend. Don't let the salary cap liars trick you, but I think they'll be able to make some noise this offseason if they want to. Of course, the big stuff was DJ and Saquon. $2, Pop each of those sits. Can Skoronski be a Quentin Nelson at guard? I'm not sure he's got best guard in the NFL or top 2 guard talent or like total upside, but I think you're talking like top 5 guard in the NFL if he makes the move inside. Nelson, who I think is awesome, Zach Martin's Hall of Famer, is probably just a little bit high on the player comparison, but a better version of Elijah Vera Tucker, that is within reason. If you take him as a guard, I think you're getting a not a joke Pro Bowl player version, not not the everyone gets in Pro Bowl, like the actual Pro Bowl talent level. I think that's what you're getting in Skoronski if you play him at guard. Weird Brady guy. Who will sign Jimmy Garoppolo? Couple teams. If Rodgers does not happen to Green Bay, which who knows when that'll be made official or not, the Jets are an obvious destination. After that, the Raiders with Josh McDaniels. Houston's been linked. Tampa. Now, at some level, he's probably going to do a stopgap veteran option. Miami's your dark horse. Maybe Arizona, too, if you want just hey, injury insurance for Tua, and Kyler might miss some time this year. But if it's not the Jets, who I think if they miss Rodgers, he's their guy, Raiders, Texans, Bucks really stand out as you can come compete with a young guy. And in Tampa, it might be Kyle Trask. I think he'd win that job. So who will end up signing Jimmy Garoppolo? Plus, he completes the Tom Brady follow-up / link team tour. Who will sign Garoppolo? Let me know in the comment section. Our mailbags are done live, so if you want to be a part of them, then you have to be subscribed. It's kind of that simple, folks. Hit that sub button today, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Free videos multiple times per day, live videos all weeks of free agency long when you join us here at Chat Sports. Rashard Lee, why aren't there NFL or why not the NFL NBA trades like KD? Thank you, Rashard. Contracts are a big factor. NFL teams backload their deals. So, we'll put, Kevin Durant. Let's go with Stephon Diggs, right? Stephon's maybe mad. The Bills would lose salary cap space significantly if they dealt Stephon Diggs. So, you can't make the salaries match. It's more complicated than it is in the NBA. And I think just the volume of players overall reduces the trade demand, etc. There were some more quarterback stuff the past year that helped make it more like the NBA, but NBA trades with the power the players have makes it just more feasible than it does in the NFL. From Food Review, I'm sharing different opinions in my sports management class. I'm curious, should the NFL adopt the NBA's matching? So look at that, great timing. Same reasoning. It's complicated. The issue is the way the salary cap works in the NFL and the way they structure contracts. Like with the signing bonus stuff, you would have to totally redesign the way contracts are done in the NFL. And I think probably to the detriment of players in the process, unless they want to adopt a fully guaranteed model, which the NFL will not do. So I think the NBA works because it's a smaller league player number-wise. I think for their respective sports, the current setup works well enough. From Bust714, do you think Hopkins is going to ask all this talk of going on? No, I don't think so. I will believe the Cowboys do a big move after they do it. There is a yearly report. We saw it again this past week. Cowboys want to make a splash. Every year that report comes out. And every offseason, they don't do one. They did one for Amari midseason. When was the last splash move Dallas made? Brandon Carr? Does that even count? I will believe it when I see it. Something big is not happening. Hopkins will get dealt. I doubt the Jones boys think it's the right value, right deal for that team. From Elmo, where does OBJ sign? Oh, thanks, Elmo. Let's see. Giants, Dallas has been linked. Buffalo, Denver. Go play for Sean Payton? Sam says he's down there. The OBJ value is going to be interesting because he's not... I don't know what he is anymore. He was good in the playoffs for the Rams. But if I just pulled away the player name and photo and everything and who he played for, show you, do you want this guy on your team? You go, well, no, he can't stay healthy. But it's Odell Beckham still, right? So at the right cost, sure. I wonder if he wants more than what NFL teams are going to value him at. So do you want to sign Odell Beckham Jr.? OBJ for yes or no BJ for no? One of my favorite questions here at Chat Sports. Go vote in the comment section. Brokov, you think Anderson might be a better fit in Indy than Bryce Young, who's Shane Steichen? Steichen likes to run empty. I think Bryce Young, who did a lot of empty at Alabama, is a great fit there. I think Indy with Shane Steichen is one of the preferred landing spots for most quarterback picks. I think Young, though, would still be a great fit there. Arthur Smith, the Titans head coach. I think the Bears could pay both Orlando Brown and Javon Hargrave. Who else are you going to sign to? The Bears can sign like the top 5 guys if they wanted to. They have so much salary cap space right now. They'll back the deals within reason. If they wanted to sign Orlando Brown and Javon Hargrave, they absolutely could do so. I expect fireworks from Chicago this year in NFL free agency. They could easily do it. It's a question of, do they want to do that? They can. We'll see, though, if they choose to go that route in the end. It's a great question, though, Arthur. Chicago is going to be very aggressive this year in NFL free agency. It should be a fun outcome for them. All right, Jacob. Could 2 Maryland corners go to the Ravens in the draft? I think Deonte Banks might be there in round 1. That'd be a classic Ravens pick, by the way. Jacorian Bennett will go later, so maybe. I don't know if Baltimore would double dip, though. Possible, but probably unlikely. Rashard Lee, draft Jake Moody in the first and trigger Tom. I'm out. I'm not doing that. Nope. I'm back. No, absolutely not. Thanks for the super chat, Rashard, but no one's taking a kicker that early. From Loyalty, where do you see Bijan Robinson going? I don't know. Like, talent-wise, he's probably a top 5 player, but he's a running back. How valuable is a running back in this day and age? He's awesome. I think the range is Philly, right? Philly at 10, unless the Falcons go rogue. Philly at 10, Philly at 30. One of those teams, one of those spots he ends up going, and I'm not sure where it ends up being in the end. Here's our super chat menu. She should have could have just ended at the. I think for the actual cut, Sam, just cut it right when I walk off with Jake Moody. It makes it way more fun. Thank you guys. Super chat shout out so far. We got 5 combined, so I'll do a free beer cheers here, Sam.
As long as you finish it eventually, that's all I care about.
I'll finish it. All right, we're going to get to our McShay big board reaction. But first, what do you like more in the NFL? DTF. D for draft, T for trades, F for free agency.
Bonk.
Yeah, it's a bonk. What do you prefer more, though, Sam?
I'm with you. I do like the NFL draft more overall, at least for the NFL. Then it goes free agency and then trades. Now, if this question was around the NBA, it's a completely different answer. At that point, I go trades, then free agency, then draft. No one really gives a shit about the draft anymore in the NBA because you can kind of toss second round picks around like they're cookies on a playground. So it's just not my style.
I like how Juan just typing in DTF. I appreciate that.
It makes sense.
It's
a good answer.
That. Yeah, I appreciate that. Mike says FA. Richard says D. Brett King. Steven. Shelley say D. Roman says all. That's fine. But SM says Jokic was a second-round pick. It's true. But the hit rate's low. It's like,
Name the last NBA superstar since then to be drafted in the second round. Not Giannis. Cheat answer.
He was a first-round
pick.
Sam. I don't know.
He was drafted before Jokic.
Yeah.
I'm saying since Jokic has been drafted to now, who's the best second-round player you can name? They're complete outliers.
It's like seventh-round picks. It's like a pick 1 and a 9 be a great NFL player, right? Like, it's just like
you're gonna find a Jokic once every 20 years in the second round.
There you go. Do you love the NFL draft? If you do, show it by subscribing to our NFL Draft Focused YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatNFL. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Trying to build that channel out, so go subscribe right now for more NFL draft coverage. There's a super chat, Sam. You weren't going to get to it. If I did not tell you are not getting to into the 60-second time frame.
You didn't even give me a chance to look over. If I'd looked
you
over,
were
I
going
would've
to the
seen
next.
it.
You were going to the next part of the show.
I was gonna look over.
We
It's in the corner of
we
my
were gonna
eye.
be 20 minutes deep, and you were gonna get to it. Nice try.
That's not true.
Blood
You
Slinger.
don't know that.
I know you. I can see what's coming up on our graphics. Are you happy that Rodgers might go to the AFC or Carr to the NFC? I mean, I think this is a Cowboys fan asking. I think I'll answer like from NFC perspective. Especially for the NFC North, get Rodgers out of there. If you're a non-NFC South contender, you got to love Rodgers leaving because that takes out one of the better quarterbacks in a pretty weak quarterback NFC side of things here. Derek Carr's got the Saints as the favorite in the NFC, but it's like a little bit worse version of Kirk Cousins. Like, hey, they might make the playoffs, cool, but you don't fear them the same way you do. Let me put it to you this way. If last year's Packers team had made the playoffs, and if this upcoming Saints team had made the postseason, people would have feared the Packers and Rodgers a lot more. So I think that's the bigger impact. Just how it goes there.
Yeah, I've got nothing for you. I agree.
All right. Thank you, Blood. $5. Cheers to you, Sam. Read out this next super chat for me.
Richard Lee says trade Luka for Big Vic.
You gonna trade Luka?
No.
What
Let's
if
use our brains here.
What if he demands a trade because the Mavs are bad?
I'll be heartbroken. I won't lie. I will absolutely be heartbroken, as will several other people in this offense.
Yes,
and
true.
Tom will do a happy dance around our grave while that happens.
I love trolling our big time Mavs fans here. It's so much fun because I'm just a turd. That's all I am. I enjoy it.
Again, I've got nothing for you here.
All right, thanks to the super chats, guys. I appreciate it here. Our final segments of today's show coming up here momentarily. If any more supers come in, we'll hit them at the end of today's show. You're watching NFL Daily here on Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and we're breaking down Todd McShay's post-combine NFL draft big board. 32 players in total ranked, and there's no change at the top. Bryce Young at number 1. The Alabama quarterback stays in that spot. And also staying at number 2 is his teammate, Will Anderson. So McShay does not make any changes on those top 2. But there were changes almost across the board the rest of the way. C.J. Stroud slides on up to number 4. The very accurate Ohio State quarterback here who has helped himself out since the college football playoff. For the most part, I think people view those with one exception we'll get to later on is the top quote-unquote players, factoring in maybe some quarterback value there. But I want to hear from you. Who do you believe is the best player in the 2023 NFL Draft? Go vote for me in the comments section. Number 4, Tyree Wilson. And outside of like the top defensive player, Will Anderson, and we'll get to Jalen Carter later and what's going on there, there's a bit of a drop-off for me, but Wilson's length and just the size of the ability is going to be really appealing to NFL teams. Peter Skoronski up one spot here. The left tackle at Northwestern might be a guard in the NFL. 32.25-inch arms, right about what was expected. That is basically unheard of for NFL tackle length. A big jump for Bijan Robinson. I do find it funny, and this is not the best example of, there's some other ones we'll get to in a moment, of like massive jumps in the top 10 or 15 of our prospects rankings for a major media guy like McShay. Don't you know who these guys are already? Shouldn't you have a pretty good locked-in top 10? A slight jump here to number 6, but he's been high on Bijan before. Christian Gonzalez from number 16 to 7. He tested like the way we were hoping he was going to. Big guy, great athlete as well. He's going to be a potential top corner off the board this year. Paris Johnson up 2 spots, the Ohio State offensive tackle. Did not do the 40. It didn't really need to there. This is a pretty much top 15 lock in this year's draft. Now, if you love the NFL draft like I do, because I am a nerd, help us grow our NFL Draft YouTube channel. YouTube.com/chatNFL. Free videos going up there. No ads right now either. Help us grow it. More NFL Draft coverage exclusively on that channel. Check it out, youtube.com/chatNFL. Number 9, Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame, tested good enough. We knew he was not a premier athlete. That's okay. He does everything else really, really well. Here is a massive jump. Nolan Smith, who was not ranked on McShay's last big board, despite being, I think he was like top 10 on his preseason one, was not ranked, skyrockets up 10 following his 4.9 30-yard dash and the elite athletic ability that he showed there. We've had Nolan, or 4.39, thank you. We've had Nolan Smith on our top first round mock drafts like the entire time, but to see not top 32 to top 10, it's just kind of weird. And I would not be shocked if Smith comes back a little bit down to earth after the combine, because that might be too big of a jump for what should be just athletic testing. Number 11, Lucas Van Ness, the defensive lineman out of Iowa, also put up great combine numbers. If you've been subscribed, you know we were expecting that type of athletic ability from Van Ness. He and Nolan Smith, curious where they end up going. Two very different size profiles. You're talking 6'2", 238 listed, 6'5", 272. Different players all the way, but both great athletes at their size. Number 12, Quentin Johnston out of TCU. Came in a little bit slenderer and shorter than expected for the Horned Frogs at the Combine. Did not run, but had great jump production there too. He stays at number 12, one of the few players staying in their current spot. Number 13, Jalen Carter, the defensive end out of Georgia. He slides from 3 to 13 solely because of the arrest and over reckless driving charges and racing connection with the crash that unfortunately killed his teammate and a recruiting staff member. Arrangement hearing is set for April 18th, but on Carter's front, there will be plenty of time to figure out what happened here. McShay had made some comments about character concerns with Jalen Carter. This is not what he was talking about. NFL teams did not know this was a shock to them at the Combine itself. The character stuff for Jalen Carter was, he's a young guy. He's 21. There's some general immaturity stuff that goes on there. Nothing to scare you away. The coaches kind of rode him a bit hard to get the most out of him, but he'll be fine as he ages. That's what the character stuff was, not this misdemeanor charge. I bet when it's all said and done, Carter's still going to go in the top 10. Number 14, Will Levis, the quarterback from Kentucky. He scares me, man. He really does. He is the number 3 quarterback on McShay's big board ahead of Anthony Richardson. So pick a quarterback of this group. WL for Will Levis, AR for Richardson. I think I would rather gamble on the younger guy with higher upside in Richardson, but there's some understandable fear with both those guys. Pick one for me. WL for Will Levis, AR for Anthony Richardson. Jordan Addison came in a little small, in the 5'11", low 170s. The 4.49 40 was not the best, but he does get open, and teams will like that. Welcome to top 16, Devin Witherspoon. He was unranked last time. We tried to tell Todd here. Awesome production at Illinois this year. I'll never forget, I think it was Josh Jones one year was out of Houston, was unranked at the Senior Bowl. He ended up being a top 75 pick, which was kind of funny that ESPN did not have him there. Witherspoon's going to go early, did not run, a little skinny, but he's got awesome play at Illinois. We will have all the NFL draft coverage you could want leading up to the NFL draft. Day 1, day 2, we'll be live for that. We're going to have some awesome coverage here for you. So subscribe. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Free videos on the draft, free agency too, all off season long. Let's get to the back half now of Todd McShay's NFL Draft Big Board. Myles Murphy, a big-time slider from number 7 to number 17. He did not test, which was like, that's what teams are banking on is the athletic ability. Came in just a little bit lighter than thought, but nothing too concerning there. I think 17's a bit better than number 7, but again, there's a weird cornerback class overall. Another big riser, Emmanuel Forbes, was not ranked and now jumps to number 18. My player comp is Slenderman. He just doesn't, there's no meat on this guy's bones. He's 6'1", 166. Fantastic ball skills, But man, the size there is going to scare off teams. That's just going to be the unfortunate reality there. Ooh, another comp, not as maybe talented, Chet Holmgren. Just super skinny player. He's a baller, though. But I am surprised that Todd jumped him up over Joey Porter Jr. 4.46 at 6'3", 193 is really good. I don't know why JPJ slid down 5 spots. Maybe he's a little stiff, but I think he's great. I think he's a top 3 corner for me pretty easily. Jackson Smith and Jigba up 1 spot. Elite agility testing, which was the hope. Did not run the 40 because it would have been in the 4.5s, and that's okay. Number 21, Keon White. This is kind of more of a Senior Bowl riser, I suppose, / recent buzz on him. Not ranked last time. Now in the top 21. I think he goes in the first round. I wish he had tested fully because I think he would have put up some really good numbers. But overall, I'm talking about premium athletic upside here. Dalton Kincaid was not ranked. Now he's top 22 despite not testing at all. So I think there's some adjustments of what other people are telling McShay to do here overall. Did not test with the back injury. That's got to get checked out, by the way. But as a seam stretcher, pass catcher at tight end, I think best one in the class. Number 23, Anthony Richardson. He jumped up from number 32, put up a show at the combine from an athletic testing standpoint. Still missed some throws. That's okay. That's how he's going to be early on. The player comps have been like Cam Newton, Justin Fields, Lamar Jackson hybrid. You know, athletically, modern-day Dante Culpepper is what he tested like. And go back and look at Culpepper's numbers on the ground and testing-wise. Damn good athlete. And a bigger guy just like Richardson is too. Is he going to go, though, in the top 5? Maybe in a trade-up scenario. It's everyone got extended, everyone got pay raises for drafting him, or everyone gets fired for doing it. Y for yes, N for no. Does A-Rich go top 15 in the comments section? Broderick Jones slides 4 spots, so I call it some adjustments within the same tier there. He's number 24. Deonte Banks, number 25, was not ranked last time, but 4.35 at 6 foot, almost 200 pounds. Yeah, that dude's going to get drafted pretty early. Zay Flowers up 5 spots. Do not believe the 13 pounds of muscle. It's just not true. Can't do it. Not how the human body works. But more weight, still athletic, that is true. Darnell Wright, not ranked last time, sneaks in the top 32. I think he has to play right tackle because he was bad at left tackle the previous year at Tennessee. Teams need tackle talent. He moved very well. That's a big sign for him. I think he's going to be a sneaky round 1 pick. Brian Brzee out of Clemson, tested as a freak athlete, which is good because he needed to. Because the production it's just not there right now. He dropped from number 8, which was very much a course correction than combine stuff from Brzee. Anton Harrison was number 18. Much more reasonable spot here at number 29. Good athlete. I think there's some. I got power concerns there, but there's a good football player who could sneak in back end of round 1. My guy Brian Branch, I'm a fan of him. He's a great run stopper, the kind of overhang, safety, nickel, corner, hybrid player. And he's just one of my guys this year. Very surprised to see Keanu Benton in the top 32. But we're also at the point where, get outside the top 20, you've basically got second-round grades, so there's going to be some more deviation here. Ben's been a nice pre-draft riser so far. And finally, another one of my guys, Darnell Washington. Go back to what our October mock drafts had him in the first round. And then he tested just the way I wanted him to. 6'7", 264 with room to add more weight. If you wanted to, you're not going to, you could make him into a right tackle. He could totally do it. He could add the weight and be still a great athlete and be a great blocker as he is already. I'm a big fan of him in a loaded tight end class. That is McShay's top 32. Who is he hating on? Who did he leave off his rankings that he should not have? Sound off for me in the comments section. Before we go, some players not ranked. For the most part, course correction here from his last big board. Keely Ringo, great athlete, but inconsistent play. Everyone's soured on Cam Smith. I'm honestly not sure why. I think maybe 19 was too high, maybe 40 is too low. Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama. It's just running back adjustment. That's fine. Antonio Johnson, who I like, was probably too high. I don't get the Drew Sanders stuff. That's weird to me. I feel like 51's too low there. Jalen Duncan. He's working with my guy, Duke Manyweather, so I'll give him some credit, and he'll probably be better than what he is now. But he's all upside at this point. Osiris Torrance out of Florida, I think should be in the top 28. I'm a big fan of his game. Zach Harrison was course adjustment. Did not test, which sucks as he'd have tested so well. And I bet he finishes in the top 50 on McShay's final board, or at least close to it. And Clark Phillips was maybe just a little bit too high. If you have not already, please subscribe to the Chat Sports YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv. Free videos every single day on NFL draft, free agency, trades, everything else in between when you subscribe right now. All right, do you guys love the NFL draft? Reminder, go sub to our draft channel. Let me check our sub numbers over there here real quick, Sam. See what we're at on our draft-focused channel. We're at 1662. 1662.
That's about 100,
7
100
away.
Subscribers or so.
7 away from something pretty cool.
I wonder what that could be.
Go subscribe, youtube.com/chatNFL. The pin poll today. Is the NFL colluding against Lamar Jackson? 63% say yes.
6 away from a very special number.
Yes, it is. But that's a lot of votes to get that number changed. So you guys can vote here. Is the NFL colluding against Lamar? Y for yes, N for no. I still think so. I think there is. I think it's collusion.
I just wonder what kind of details are just going to come out over the next week. Like, is there not even like anything like resembling an inkling of something, coming out of this, or what?
The answer will be none, because this is still less obvious of collusion than the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, which the NFL had to settle over because they knew it was collusion. And there were still, it's the same Big J's doing it right now, still were like backing and carrying water for the NFL. It's not collusion with Kaepernick. Easy to make that claim now with Lamar, but everyone here knows ball. Saying we're going to ride with Sam Howell over Lamar Jackson. Like, if the Commanders got Lamar Jackson, they're a playoff. They might win a loaded NFC East. They're making the playoffs.
And instead,
come on.
I think if you consciously make the decision to roll with one of these quarterbacks, you deserve to be publicly laughed at. Just bring some of the fan base out, and they can just laugh and boo for 60 seconds. Unhinged. What the hell is going on? Because it just doesn't make sense to me.
I am inclined to agree. So get those votes in. Y for yes, N for no. And one more time, make sure you guys are subscribed to us here on Chat Sports. Free videos every single. We're not going to loop there. I think it's too limited of an audience here. Hit that subscribe button. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. Free videos multiple times per day, every single day, right here on Chat Sports. See you guys again later the week. And remember, Monday, live NFL free agency coverage.